Welcome back and welcome to another movie reviews video. I make movie reviews here on this channel every Sunday, except that next Sunday I won't be here, so you won't have a movie review video from me next Sunday, partly because I'm literally not here and partly because I'm away for the week and won't be going to the cinema. So no movie reviews video for you next Sunday, but I will have one the Sunday after, I promise. They are always spoiler free. I leave timestamps in the description box below, so if there is a particular movie you want to hear my thoughts on, you can scroll along to that time and not listen to what I'm saying about the other movies that you don't care about. I have 4 movies to talk to you about this week, and I will also leave last week's movie reviews video linked up here in case I went and saw one last week that you are considering going and seeing this week. I can share my thoughts with you. The first movie I saw in cinemas this week was The Photograph. I forgot it completely for a moment there because I did not enjoy this movie. If it hadn't been snowing outside, I would have left and gone and got a coffee and read my book somewhere, because I could tell that it kind of wasn't going anywhere. But it was really snowy outside, so I wanted to keep my driving to a minimum and also stay in the warm cinema where I wasn't being snowed on. And that's the only reason I stayed until the end of this movie. There was only one other couple in the cinema with me. It should have been an interesting story. It should have been a romantic film. They brought it out on Valentine's Day, so it could be like the romance. I just didn't see the point in it. I don't understand why the characters made the decisions that they did. I've seen these people act in other films and actually act, so I can only assume it was the script and the direction, a combination of it, that meant that their acting was very stilted. There was no chemistry on the screen. There was just, I felt more chemistry between like the male lead and his best friend than I did between the male lead and Issa Rae. Like, I just didn't get it. I didn't see the point in it. I should have walked out of it. It was a bit of a waste of time. There we go. The second film I saw in cinemas this week was a rewatch for me, so I knew I was going to like it. I went to see Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn again, because I enjoyed it so much last week. So that shows you how much I enjoyed this video. As I say, I talked more in last week's video about this one, but last week I saw it in Dolby and this week it was playing in IMAX, so I decided I would go and see this one in IMAX and see if there was a big difference between IMAX and Dolby. I had the whole IMAX cinema to myself, so I could really relax and watch this film. I don't think that it necessarily benefits from being on the IMAX screen versus being on the Dolby screen, which is also a big screen, but I would imagine there's not that much difference between IMAX and a regular screen. So if you are considering paying the extra money to see this in an enhanced format, I don't think you necessarily need to. Because I was the only one in the screen, well, I think this is the reason, or I hope this is the reason, it was very loud. Obviously, I'd seen it in Dolby the week before, and it wasn't as loud. So just a warning there, if you are going to see it in IMAX, it might be super loud. I just really enjoyed it. I really liked the characters. I loved Black Canary. I love the fact that we have non-straight characters in this film as well, like a whole collection of, you know, every possible like non-straight, non-heterosexual. Yay for DC. I just really enjoyed it, and I've been recommending this one to everyone. I've heard people saying that, oh, well, you know, she's just a side character, she doesn't need a film in her own right. No, she does. It was amazing. I really liked what she was doing. I love Margot Robbie in this. I love the storyline. I love the music. I love the effects. I love the costumes. What's not to love about it? I really enjoyed this one, and it's basically the only film I enjoyed this week, and it was a rewatch, so that says a lot. Because then I went across and I saw Sonic the Hedgehog. It's the #1 movie in the US right now. I saw it in Dolby whilst I could, so I literally walked across the hall from Harley Quinn into Sonic the Hedgehog, and I'd given myself a 10-minute buffer so I could go straight from one into the other. It was awesome. However, I fell asleep twice. I was watching the beginning and I didn't think that the humor was really particularly anything. It's one of those where you see the best bits in the trailers. Part of my trouble with Sonic himself is that I couldn't get over the image of Ben Schwartz as John Ralphio in Parks and Recreation out of my head, so I felt a little bit like it was John Ralphio trapped in Sonic's body, and that's a personal thing, but there wasn't enough on the screen to distract me from that, and that says a lot, I think. I mean, you know, let me know if you disagree with me, but I think that says a lot. So yeah, I left this one early because it wasn't snowing and I could, and so I did, and I went and got my Starbucks and then was just early to pick Ollie up. So I don't know how it ended. I can imagine that nothing really happened, because in the hour that I was watching it, and it's only an hour and a half film, nothing really happened. There wasn't anything funny, and it's a shame because it should have been a good movie, but I just didn't get it. And like I say, I fell fully asleep twice. I was tired from reading my book the night before, but I should be able to stay awake. I stayed awake through the entirety of the first film. So yeah, wouldn't recommend this one. Don't waste your money on it. Go see Birds of Prey or go rewatch Frozen. Very excited that my upcoming flight, Frozen 2's on it. I could watch it again. Or I could read my book. Either way. Then the final film I went to see this week, I was really excited about, and I had tickets when I knew it was coming out, and I like the people who were in it, and I still can't work out if I liked it or not, which is a shame because this is a movie reviews video, but I can't understand if it was trying to be funny or if it was trying to be real, and also it had humour in it. I did laugh out loud more than once, and there was only 2 other people in the cinema. I was laughing out loud, they weren't, but maybe they're just not laughing out loud people. You would notice less if there was more people in the cinema, but there was just me and these other 2. It was in the same cinema where I saw The Photograph, and there was me and 2 other people in basically the same space. It was a bit odd. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It wasn't a long film, which is nice. It's like an hour and 26 minutes, I think. So I didn't feel like I was wasting my time. But I still can't work out if it was supposed to be funny, or if it was supposed to be dark funny, or if it was supposed to be like real, and then there was some funny moments. I think if it was the latter, it did a good job of being that. If it was the former, not so much. And I'm not sure if it really constitutes a dark comedy. Will Ferrell has some classic kind of funny Will Ferrell physical comedy moments, which is good. And I just thought if there was less Will Ferrell and a little bit more of Julia Louis-Dreyfus, it would have been slightly better, because she is fantastic on screen. She gives a whole range of motion. Her acting is measured where it needs to be measured. It's big where it needs to be big. She plays this mother, and the relationship with her children does seem very, very maternal. Her relationship with Will Ferrell is supposed to be strained and is strained, and she goes on a bit of a journey over the course of the film, and you can see that with her. And she has some funny moments that made me laugh, and she had some real moments that made me go, yeah, I identify with you, or oh, I empathize or sympathize with you. And so I think if there'd been slightly less solo Will Ferrell moments and slightly more of her on screen, it would have just made it from being like a fine film to being a good film. I think maybe I've identified how I feel about this film, but yeah, I wouldn't say that you need to spend your money on seeing this week either. The only one I truly recommend out of the 4 films that I saw this week is Birds of Prey, and you can tell that because I went to see it again, and I really enjoyed it, and I've recommended it to everyone that I've come across this week. I really don't think any of the others are worth your money at the box office. Wait or go and see something that's already out. Jumanji's still playing, it was very good. Frozen's still playing. Go see Bombshell, go see 1917, go see Parasite. It's playing in IMAX now, it's fabulous. Yeah, bit of a duff week in terms of films. The only one I liked was my rewatch, and that's the only one I'm recommending that you go and see in cinemas this week. Downhill watch it when it comes to streaming and let me know your thoughts. Is it funny? Is it real and there's some funniness in it? Is it a dark comedy? What is it? That one, watch on streaming. The others, not. Just avoid. Don't like. No. Don't know why Sonic's number one. Because I'm trying to think myself as like, would I bring kids to see this? No, it was really boring. No. Anyway, as always, if there is a particular movie you want to hear my thoughts on, do let me know in comments. I'm always happy to go and watch cinema on demand. I know I had a request last week to go and see Fantasy Island, and I did have tickets to see it, but I got a phone call, and so I had to cancel that ticket, and so I just went to see Downhill instead. I was meant to see the two of them back to back, but I will try and make time to see this one if I can before I go away. I will be back in 2 weeks' time with another movie reviews video, so make sure you are subscribed so that or my bookish content in the week lands in your subscription feed. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, and as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments or anything you want me to go and see. I will be back with more movie reviews in 2 weeks, so I will see you then.